Yo, what is going on, people? You got Higer Toad back here once again with a video. It's been ages since I've uploaded, like 3 or 4 months to be exact, but yeah, we're just gonna upload and pretend I never stopped uploading. So yeah, just some backstory. I joined this thing called the Surge, which I'll explain the rules for in a bit, but it's like part of the Summer Showdown tournament that the Token Minorities not heard of, may host, and I'm pretty sure that you've heard of it just because it's pretty popular and all that. So it's this huge like tournament of the year, all that, and basically this is like a different type of format that Joel, who is running this, decided to invite some different players from different leagues and some other players and all that to make up a 32-man tournament doing the Surge format. So as you can see, you already see my draft on the screen. I'm going to do this just a bit differently because I think it's a bit boring just to like go like, oh, I got Primarina round 1, then I got sniped, so then I just got this because it looked cool, or whatever. Yeah, I don't really want to do that, so I'm just going to go over my draft in general, what I think about it, flaws, and just what I was thinking about when I was like trying to draft for this format. Because basically, as you'll see here, Surge format, you can read that, I'm not going to read out loud, but basically how it works is it's like a low tier draft, but as the rounds progress, you slowly get in. As the rounds progress, you get higher tier mons. They're like unlocked essentially, and you can pick those up in transactions in between rounds. So you'll start off low tier, and then as time goes on, you'll get high tier, and eventually you'll get all the top tier stuff like Coco and Stila in like the last round. So it's like pretty interesting in just how it works, as it's just like a hybrid of low tier and just regular tier. It's kind of interesting. So that's kind of why I wanted to do this, as I like low tier a lot. Like I like low tier just in general, and then Little Cup, I really like Little Cup. Obviously this isn't Little Cup, but I just like stuff like that. So I figured I'd join, give it a try. And so the P4G last season did a lower tier league, and so I kind of got information from that on what's really good in lower tiers. So basically just going into this, I wanted like good fairies, good rocks, good flying types. Those three in particular are very important because like you don't realize this until they're taken away, but like a lot of steel types really hold together teams, and without steel types, things kind of just crumble, and you have to resort to other types or just other Pokemon that can fill niches to deal with those fairies, flying types, and those rock types, to just not get completely crushed by them, unless you just want to like go offense versus offense. But obviously that's not every player's cup of tea. So yeah, my goal was to just take advantage of that, because there's like 5 steals in total, like 5 viable steals in the lower tiers, and like half of them don't even like resist rock or flying, so that just makes it even worse. So my goal was to get one of the better steel types, because I think that's pretty important, and it just helps you in the higher up rounds as well, because people will be aiming to get it, like Metagross, Klefki, like Steela. Obviously that's not for a while, but people will be aiming to just get mons in general like those, and if you don't get those mons, then you might just end up screwed. So it's very nice to just have a good steel type as a backup, that like if you upgrade it, cool. If you don't upgrade it, oh well, you still have something. So yeah, I really wanted to capitalize on that weakness, and so because of that, I just got Primarina. I was lucky enough to get like 5th or 6th pick, something like that. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna pick up Primarina. It's pretty good. It literally it can 2-hit KO every team. So I decided right then and right there, I'm gonna design a team around Primarina. Primarina looks just really fun because it just blows things away. And so like I wanted like momentum. I wanted just things that let Primarina come in, and I also wanted things that benefited from Primarina's breaking. So Primarina basically breaks like grounds, rocks, it breaks fires, although there's not really many good fires. So it's more so just ground and rock. And so I wanted things that like struggled against ground and rocks and got momentum. So that kind of this explains some of my things, like Incineroar really doesn't like that, and actually, even though they're both Alolan starters, they actually pair pretty well together, as well as Archeops, which I think was really overpriced for this. I mean, not overpriced, underpriced. Like 5 points is pretty cheap for this. It's really, really nice. So yeah, I really like that. But yeah, Primarina I think just offered a lot, just both offensively, and it's pretty good utility. I think it gets both screens. Yeah, it gets reflect, and I think it gets light screen as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, that was my main thing, and I wanted to just get a team that could basically just bounce off of each other with, what's the word? Like, could just benefit from each other. So that's what I kind of did. And like I said, I wanted a really good steel type. And like, I usually hate Doublade. I think Doublade's like pretty bad in like normal drafts. But I think it's like really good in Surge, at least for the earlier rounds, because it's one of the better steel types, if I'm being honest. Steel and Ghost, it resists Rock, it resists Flying, it resists Fairy, it resists all those key typings, and it also has an offensive presence, and it really doesn't like physical, like bulky Mons, and so that's also where Primarina does help out in that aspect. So it's really nice, and it can also do breaking itself, and it's also a very nice trapper. There's not like many Ghosts or like I think Ghosts and Psychics are less sort of near, but like it's useful in certain matchups. It's always good. It's always good to have a Pursuit user and all of that. Hitmontop, I'm gonna be honest, Hitmontop is absolutely terrible. I'm probably gonna try and upgrade this like as soon as I can. I literally got it because of removal, and that's basically it. I don't think Hitmontop is very good even in low tier. It just like it can't touch Ghosts. It's literally just like fighting moves. I'm not really a fan of it. I do like that it gets Intimidate though, as I do have that nice Intimidate core. Those two pair nicely, but it's just sort of like an added option, like to sort of support. I had some other threats in mind, obviously, as you can see with these two beasts right here. But yeah, Hitmontop, I think just it's like alright if you need it. It's just very specific. I'm not really a fan of it. Gligar, I think Gligar is pretty good low tier. Ground, I think it molds very nicely. It molds very nicely with Abomasnow because, also let me say this, electric types in lower tiers are a lot worse than higher tier ones, as you'd expect, but the main reason for that is because their coverage is usually worse. Okay, their coverage is usually worse, or they're just not as strong. But in the cases where their coverage is just not as good, if they run HP Ice, they're walled by Abomasnow. So if you HP Ice into the Abomasnow, that's just a free hit for Abomasnow, which is a really nice breaker with Primarina because it takes less pressure. It takes some of the pressure off of it, and it can be a breaker itself, which is really, really cool. And so you also then have, I don't know why I'm on Archeops, on Gligar, it's very nice because if they want to actually run like HP Fire for Abomasnow, well then you're just walled by Gligar, and Gligar can just get momentum and get rocks up, defog rocks away, just do what Gligar does best, honestly. And it was very good to have like removal when I have stuff like Incineroar, Archeops, Abomasnow, and Volbeat. So this team in general isn't very fast, so to kind of make up for that, I definitely did want the Archeops. Archeops is like a low tier steal. I didn't even look at it at first, but then someone pointed it out to me, and I was like, why is this thing 5 points? As you see, actually for Z users, each round we are allowed to pick a Z user, and you can actually change it after each round. So the first round, I figured I'd just go with Archeops, because I think it was... Alright, sorry for that. That was just a quick pause, but yes, Archeops is a very good Z user, so I figured I might as well just make it my Z user for round 1. It just forces a lot of prep, which I think is pretty important, so yeah, there's not much like too in-depth in that, and also gives me a lot of speed, which I really lack, because like, I have stuff like Primarina and Incineroar that can be Scarf, but obviously they don't always want to be, so it's good to have that natural speed as well. And I also do have the Tailwind support with the Volbeat. This is actually really nice with the Volbeat because in the main tour for this, the Summer Showdown, Baton Pass entirely is banned, but in this, Baton Pass is allowed with the exception that speed may never be passed. But what can be passed? Tail Glow. So that forces a lot of prep on my opponent. For example, if I bring a Scarf Primarina or like a Scarf Abomasnow, I can tail glow a baton pass and literally just shred a team if they're like really weak to it. Like if they're really weak to ice, I could bring like Scarf of Bombstone in the Blizzard and just like tear through a team, which could really work because, like I said, steel types are rare in this round, so teams are more likely to be weaker to it. So yeah, it's really, really good. I thought that with just taking advantage of those low tiers, like 2 points and 3 points, that's pretty cheap for stuff like that. And yeah, let's see, I talked about Volbeat. That's mainly Volbeat's purpose, like it's 2 points. That, I already covered that. I covered this. I think I actually pretty much covered everything I wanted to. This is like pretty quick. I didn't really want to ramble on too long. So if you have like any more questions, or just leave them down below. I'm not gonna like talk too much about what transactions I have in mind because like I really didn't think about that too much when I was just planning my draft. Like, well, okay, so like when drafting, I knew that in the next round I'm gonna have 2 transactions, and I want to use both of them because I think it's like essential to upgrade each round because so you can stay on the same level of your opponents or even ahead if their drafts aren't good. So like I thought that I could get like I was thinking originally like 7 good mons and then maybe 1 bad one, but Volbeat actually fits pretty well. So it's kind of just like upgrading at that point, like since my team's like actually I think like I like my team a lot. But yeah, it's mostly just upgrading, and you need to make sure that like if you take like 3 really bad mons and like just go top heavy, that's not gonna work because you're just gonna have like 7 mons and it's gonna be predictable. So yeah, that's all I want to really say on that. Drafting for this was actually pretty fun. It just because refreshing, you know. But yeah, that's gonna be it. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or just PM me on Discord. I'm pretty active. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this, and we're gonna have battles tomorrow. So yeah, bye.